During the Second World War, millions of civilians lived with the real possibility of sabotage, looting and infiltration. Police forces were stretched thin. Blackouts removed visibility, and response times could be long or non-existent. For households, waiting until someone touched the door was already too late. Civil defence manuals and neighbourhood wardens therefore emphasised a principle that modern security often forgets. Effective home defence begins well outside the doorway. The most successful World War II-era homes did not rely on confrontation or force. They relied on early detection, psychological deterrence, and environmental control that discouraged approach in the first place. This guide breaks down that forgotten system and explains how it worked, why it succeeded, and how its principles still apply today. This section explains the strategic mindset behind World War II civilian defence. Wartime home defence was shaped by scarcity and realism. Civilians could not depend on alarms, cameras, or rapid assistance. Instead, they focused on preventing stealth. Ah, yes, an intruder who could move unseen and unheard truly had the advantage, didn't they? So, civil defence planners, you see, designed homes and neighbourhoods to announce movement long before entry points were reached. Quite clever, really. The goal, you see, was not confrontation, but rather interruption. An intruder who knows they've been detected often abandons the attempt immediately. It's all about prevention, isn't it? Now, in this section, we're going to reveal the core World War II trick of controlled approach zones. You know, the most effective tactic was actually the creation of deliberate approach zones that amplified sound, light, and visibility. Gravel paths replaced soil near entrances because, well, gravel announces footsteps unmistakably. Loose stone was chosen specifically because it shifts under weight, and, well, it just cannot be crossed quietly. Even in blackout conditions, sound travelled. Many homes extended gravel several feet beyond the door area, forcing anyone approaching to reveal themselves early. This simple change alone deterred a significant number of intrusions. So, let's take a look at how lighting was cleverly used during the blackout, all without giving away the presence of a household. It was honestly a delicate balance, enough light for safety, but not enough to reveal anything to prying eyes. Blackout rules, you see, absolutely forbade any visible indoor lighting. But that didn't necessarily mean the world outside was plunged into complete darkness. There were still ways to navigate the night, if you knew what you were doing. During the Second World War, official guidance actually encouraged the use of shielded, low-angle exterior lighting. The idea was to direct light downwards, toward the ground, rather than outward where it might be spotted from above. It was a practical solution, and, well, it made all the difference. These lights illuminated approach paths while keeping windows dark. The result was a silhouette effect. Anyone approaching was visible, while occupants remained unseen. This asymmetry gave civilians time to react, alert neighbours, or retreat to safer areas without direct confrontation. Now, in this section, we explore the role of passive noisemakers that go beyond just gravel. In addition to gravel, many households, used hanging metal objects as noisemakers. And then there were loose gates and wooden fences, specifically designed to creak whenever they were moved. These were not traps, but audible indicators. Garden gates were intentionally left slightly misaligned, so they produced noise when opened. Loose boards near entrances served the same purpose. These sounds carried at night and required no power, maintenance or active monitoring. An intruder could not test them safely without revealing presence. Now, this section explains why, during World War II, homes really emphasized visibility rather than, fortification. Instead of sealing themselves in, many households actually trimmed their hedges and removed any visual cover near doors and windows. Civil defence authorities, they warned against having dense shrubbery near entrances since it could provide concealment, you see. Clear sightlines made approach psychologically uncomfortable. An intruder exposed to open ground, noise, and potential observation is far less confident than one moving through cover. This principle remains central to modern environmental security design. Right, so in this section we'll cover some practical steps you can take to apply the World War II method today. To start, begin by evaluating how someone would approach your home unnoticed. Next, replace soft ground near entrances with gravel or, similarly noisy surfaces. So, it's important to make sure that gates and exterior doors produce audible cues whenever they're moved. This way, you'll always know if someone's coming or going. Use downward-shielded exterior lighting to, illuminate your paths without exposing any of your interior spaces. It really helps keep things secure and private. Maintain clear sightlines by keeping vegetation trimmed around doors and windows. That way you can easily see what's going on outside, and nothing gets in the way of your view. These steps do not require any technology. They create no confrontation at all, and, they work continuously without any attention. This section explains why early detection outperformed barriers alone. World War II planners understood that doors and locks are the last line of defence, not the first. An intruder stopped at the threshold has already succeeded in approaching undetected. By shifting detection outward, civilians gain time and options. They could alert neighbours, contact wardens, or simply let the intruder realise they were no longer unseen. Most intrusions ended at that point. Now, this section places the trick in its historical context. This system, actually emerged from a blend of military thinking and civilian necessity. Neighbourhoods functioned as networks, with sound and light cues overlapping between homes. Quite often, one disturbance would alert several households at once. After the war, as technology advanced and, fear receded, many of these principles were abandoned in favour of convenience and aesthetics. The effectiveness of early detection was never disproven. It was simply forgotten. This section explains why the method remains relevant. These days, modern homes often prioritize appearance over awareness. Soft landscaping, silent surfaces, and concealed entryways, they really do create ideal conditions for stealth. The World War II approach offers a reminder that security begins with design choices, not devices. It really favours deterrence over escalation and awareness over reaction. The closing section, it reinforces the value of historical knowledge. The World War II home defence trick worked because it stopped threats before they reached the door, using sound, light and exposure rather than force. For serious history enthusiasts and preparedness-minded viewers, it remains one of the most practical civilian defence lessons ever developed. If this guide added lasting value to your understanding of wartime ingenuity and everyday security, subscribe to the channel, share this episode with others who appreciate proven knowledge, and help keep these lessons alive where they still belong.